Thank you, Jordan. It's time for Consulate map number 1, Cyclops and Trippy. As we mentioned on the desk, this is expected to be quite a one-sided game, Shakar, but I don't want to count out Trippy because every single time I feel like there's APAC and events, we always count out one team or another, and there's always those teams that come up and surprise us, that jump scare us, do something a little bit different. Last event, it was Airwolf. Airwolf have been doing the same this event. Trippy, now the spotlight's on them. What can they do? No pressure on their backs. That's the best chance to perform.
Indeed, and they're going to start off with a Hibana ban, and they've done these Hibana bans against Cloud9 on Consulate and Bank, so it follows that they will do the same against CAG over here on Consulate again. And now Cyclops themselves, they're banning Nomad. They just don't like that operator. Even when Nomad is available, they only play her 7% of the time. So in Japan, that is the case. Now, Echo being banned is very, very standard. It's a meta ban. We see Echo banned by pretty much every single team. And it's going to be a Valkyrie ban from Trippy as the final one. That makes a lot of sense. Consulate as a map, it's a smallish map. It's a very squarish map. And with 3 Valkyrie cameras, you can get to such fantastic coverage. You can even hide them from IQ scanners if you're quick enough.
A lot of information gathering operators on the defense removed, as you said, with the Echo and the Valkyrie. So we're likely to see a lot of Maestro being played, perhaps a lot of Mozzie as well. There you go, that picked out. Maybe it's going to be a 6 pick away from the Legion. We'll have to see. It is that top floor bomb site taken first in this round. On Consulate, we see quite a lot of diversity on bomb sites. In fact, a lot of people really see that both the top floor, the bottom floor, and even lobby to some extent almost equally viable. But people do tend to pick this top floor first. We'll see whether that gets stuck on as we see the 6 pick onto the Pulse away from Ella, and the Jackal also taken instead of that Zafia from Suzu for Cyclops. Now let's get into the first round and have a look at how Trippy start to defend this top floor bomb site.
Now, Shale, as I have been told by him to call him, Shale, he's going to be setting up the very standard defense over here inside of the bathroom to go with Templar. Now, Templar is a very prolific smoke player from Trippy, but the problem with him is a lot of the rounds he plays far too aggressive with the smoke. And he is by far and away Trippy's best fragger, I would say, based on, you know, just what I've watched from them. And him getting aggressive usually is when Trippy lose those rounds. So it's going to be very important that he doesn't get aggressive against a team that thrives on and off aggression.
Cyclops are definitely that kind of team that plays so aggressively, and just having a look at their operator lineup as well. So many operators that such good in those fragging situations. Jackal, Ash, Buck, and even Thermite and Thatcher, Fragmite. And we've seen so many occasions where these operators can seriously deal damage, and we know CAG to be those team to take those aggressive angles. Now it looks to be an east side take onto this top floor, repelling on this paper window. The printer copy room window is Blackway, and he's droning out that position. Anyton as well to cover that admin office, and really good start here. Great control being established by Cyclops with really no time wasted at all. Only 50 seconds down, they already have the control of admin office and this east side top floor of the map.
There is one deep roamer from Trippy. He seems to be inside of Garage right now. You can see that is maybe the Pulse. I can't quite tell from this distance. But, oh well, yep, there we go. He's JD, he's the one. So he can make a lot of things happen. The coach, Dongguk, he was talking about how important JD is to the team in terms of information, shot calling, and that's what he's going to be his role today. And Templar, you see very early with those smoke canisters, and perhaps they're feeling the pressure of letting admin go too easily.
Time ticking away here. Now 1 minute 30 on the clock. Time is escaping Cyclops, but they're still waiting for those picks. There is that roam downstairs. You mentioned the Pulse earlier. That C4 for the vertical play is always so potent, so effective, or at least it can be if the attackers don't punish it. Now, Pulse hasn't been Jackal scanned just yet, but I would be surprised if Suzu doesn't attempt to use that in future. JD getting a lot of information here with the Pulse, and no doubt when this execute begins to come about from Cyclops, he will attempt to go for that C4, move into lobby, but the first kill is for Anyton. That's on CAG rather. Trippy now put under the pump, and the second player falls. That's JD. The pulse is gone. Templat being scanned out, but what can he do? Plant's going down, and here we have Trippy falling apart at the seams. CYCLOPS absolutely dominating their opponents right now. Just the one player left. 5 on none for CYCLOPS.
That was textbook stuff from CYCLOPS Athlete Gaming. On the flip side, Trippy really not looking comfortable in this very first round. They seemed very uncertain of themselves, and I'm surprised that Jake Doe, he didn't catch that hole that was made from above. I think that's where he got killed from, trying to rotate up Visa stairs, but they had his number. They knew exactly where he was coming from, and he was caught out all too easily. It's hard to say when it's such a strong, flawless round for CAG, but Trippy, I'm sure, they'll take a while to settle themselves in, and one of the players who's going to be, I'm going to talk about that, but one of the players who's going to be very, very influential in this is going to be Watby, because he has been to an APAC Finals before.
What was the team? Was that
It was at New Life. He was with New Life in Season 8.
I remember that team.
Yeah, and he was there, so...
Way back when, of course, every season we see these second seed Korean teams, and we always hope that they can perform, but very rarely do they take maps away from these top APAC contenders. Still Trippy, we want to see that. It's possible. Let's have a look at Jam at the moment. With this Warden, now, of course, the Phantom site operators now able to be played in Pro League and other competitive play. Warden, we haven't seen so much. We've seen a bit of Nook play a bit earlier in the previous game as well. How do you think that we'll see this utilized?
Not too sure. It's hard to say for Trippy how they're going to play Warden, how Jamsu Hwan is going to play this Warden. It is likely to be him just holding on this bomb site, because it is it's a very obvious decision to play him on the site when the smokes are coming out, when the flashbangs are coming out, and just play him right behind the bomb, usually where you put your smoke. Because Templat, as I said, he likes to get aggressive with the smoke, and it looks like he wants to hold admin.
Yeah, it looks like there is that aggressive play in admin from Trippy so far, which I do like, of course. CYCLOPS so quickly established this control very early on, and now JD's got himself a drone to utilize. He is in a vulnerable position, though, as CYCLOPS will no doubt drone him out and start to use these frag grenades to expose his position inside of admin very shortly. It's not likely he'll be able to hold it on to admin for the whole round, but he will try to go as long as possible. Nice grenade read for Black Raven. JD with the double. What's that, mates? 2 on the rappel, all fallen down. Suzu's going to do his best to refrag here, but Trippy have started this round with a bang.
Definitely with a bang, and 2 falling down. Black Ray, of course, he is going to be very influential with this. Certainly, you saw Jamsu Hwan looking on the Visa camera, trying to see if JD's going to be any trouble from below, but he wasn't, and Black Ray's still not pushing him out. The attempt comes out from Suzuki, but at Neaton, he's going to get downed as well. That is a problem. The Ash is on the floor. Templat is likely going to collect that. There we go. So the aggressive smoke working out, and the aggressive play really spearheaded by JD and his double C4 kill as we tick down to halfway.
Impressed by so far what we've seen of Trippy in this round. Didn't take him very long to start adapting and really putting CYCLOPS on the back foot here. You can see CYCLOPS a little bit lost. They want to find these peaks. How do you win that? Oh. How does he win that? At least he gets traded, but now it's a 1 versus 4. Got to ace up here for Suzu. It's a big ask for him on the gridlock. Still some track stingers to utilize, but trying to take this vertical push up yellow stairs. He will get it for free. Player inside of bathroom. Gonna chuck a tracks in there for now. Looks like his position is revealed, exposed to some degree. He's just looking for picks at the moment. There's still plenty of time for him to play with 2.
Yeah, indeed, and that a lot of time is gonna start vanishing very quickly though, because he's waiting for them to peek into him, but Trippy are way too smart for this, and that's very heartening to see. Usually, you see all these new teams just going for all the peaks. You saw Arrowwolf doing it against Fnatic earlier on. But they're just holding station, and Suzuki is going to get in a fight with the Warden, and then the refrag. Refrag attempt is going to come in, and it's going to be successful. So that was a good pre-fire. You expected him to win that first engagement, but, well, it played out a little differently, didn't it?
And we're seeing Trippy within 1 round start to fight back, and I love to see it. These underdogs are really stepping up their game. And I think we need to credit Trippy. I was harping on about how they have taken some good fights to Cloud9 in the past. Now, they look absolutely serious. They're ready to get into this game as long as possible. And I'm very, very impressed by what we've seen so far. It only took them one round to step up and start to make a reply. And CAG, a very difficult team to come up against, especially since we noted during the Japanese season, CAG didn't drop a single map. They never lost a game against all of these teams that were not quite at their caliber. They always had that consistency to nail those defenses. Now, a team like Fnatic can't even say that because they lost games to Fury, who eventually ended up in 5th place in ANZ. So CYCLOPS demonstrating that consistency against lower level teams is really impressive, and yet they haven't quite had that so far against Trippy. Mind you, it's only one round, but I'm just impressed at how quickly Trippy flipped that switch.
Indeed, and talking about flipping switches, the 6th pick was used by Suzuki, and he's brought out the Nook. So we saw Warden in the previous round. We didn't get to see the utilization of Warden's utility, but we might just see Suzuki bring out something really exciting from Nook in this round. We saw an attempt from Lunamel just now, and they tried to do a rush Ying and smoke plant, but Lunamel, of course, he forgot to press the button to activate his ability. Let's see whether Suzuki is going to make the same mistake or not. I don't think so. He's likely going to be sent off on his own, if not using the same type of strategy as Lunamel was. So yeah, you can see he's kind of droning himself in right now.
Yeah, we'll have to keep our eye on the Nook as the round continues, but for now, shifting our focus onto Trippy, the defense opting for the Tellers Archives bomb site. One of the least common bomb sites taken, that's the newer bomb site, was only added when this map was buffed up a few seasons ago. We haven't seen a ton of teams, especially from APAC, really embrace this bomb site. One such team would be Fnatic, who we've seen use it a lot. And often into the meta, we've seen these adaptations, teams attacking this bomb site. They know that they have to take control of that bottom floor, and they usually do that from the garage side. So CYCLOPS very much on a normal push so far. Looks like they're doing their due diligence to clear out all of the relative areas, and now they'll start to try to push on to that Archives objective.
Yeah, usually you see most of the push is focused from the garage or from the Visa side. So CAG obviously preferring to push from the garage side. There is not too much site present. Templar and Jamsu-Hwan going to be receiving this push. Now, Jamsu-Hwan is helping out JD upstairs to get some information, and JD thinking about dropping down if the going gets too tough. But Shoke is going to be the one opening the fragging. Templar goes down. Now this time he's playing the mute, so not too big of a loss, but you do lose one C4 and site presence.
This bomb site is all about plant denial. Always we see teams using C4 information gathering operators to deny that plant. Of course, the Nook can hard counter that information gathering and make it much more difficult to deny a plant. CAG decide it's about time to start pushing into Archives, and they lose, wow, 2 players, a third now. Trippy's back in the game, 2 versus 2. 1 player so very low on HP. JD holding down on the bomb site. And these Korean players, they're so loud, I can hear him from here. Hello, JD gets another one, stepping up for his team. All onto Black Ray now for CYCLOPS. He has the diffuser, but he can't land enough shots onto JD. It's a 1 versus 2, and he loses it. Trippy, 2 rounds in a row.
That is incredible stuff. The fragging firepower is certainly not lacking on Trippy, and we've seen that in the Korean Pro League against Cloud9, against other teams. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. So do not make any mistakes. Their strategies may not be as polished as their opponents, but you bet your buttons they're gonna destroy you in fragging.
Trippy, I hate to make it sound like I had such low expectations for them, but it's not necessarily the results so far, the fact that they're winning these rounds, but the way that they're winning these rounds. They're playing so well. They're playing up to the caliber of the other teams at this event, and that's not what we expected. It's harsh to say, but coming into this event, everyone looking at the bracket, who's maybe watched a lot of APAC events before, has a bit of knowledge about the different sub-regions, especially the Korean sub-region, which has far fewer Pro League teams. You're looking at, okay, we have 7 good teams, and then we have the 2nd seed from Korea. I think they're called Trippy. That's what I think most people are looking at coming into this event. And that is nowhere near giving credit that's due over to Trippy here, because they played really well so far. Now, mind you, CYCLOPS, they're no strangers to comebacks. when they were playing in the Raleigh qualifier on LAN in the grand final against Wildcard, it was the Aussies who won the first map. CYCLOPS came back with the following two. So even if Trippy get off to a good start here, we're not guaranteed that that's going to go through. But looking at the map ban phase, this is what I thought CYCLOPS was going to do well. And that's not the case.
Oh, still early days. CYCLOPS, as you said, love their good comebacks. Same in the Rally qualifiers against Aerowolf. I think they were 3-0 down, and then they just brought it back, and Aerowolf just looked lost. So over here, perhaps, oh, Templat, such a spawn peek with the smoke, SMG-11. What on earth? I talked about Templat getting so aggressive on the smoke. That was not meant to be a compliment, Templat.
But we've talked about how not having a lot of information on these teams can play into their advantage. That's exactly what we're looking at right now, Shikar. We're looking at CYCLOPS underestimating Trippy, not expecting that level of aggression, not expecting to have to fight on their own, on Trippy's terms. Yeah. Because CYCLOPS, they're the team we talk about that are ultra aggressive, that make these, you know, crazy aggressive plays and make them work. And that's what Trippy's doing right now. They're doing it to the masters of aggression themselves. It's CYCLOPS.
You gotta fight fire with fire, I guess. And Templat, when he came back to site, he hadn't even done site setup fully. He was still making holes. So right,
this spawn peek first.
Yeah, exactly. This is the 100% ranked mentality. And look, you dog on ranked, but APAC loves their rank because Xavier Esports, mind you, 2 seasons in a row they were top. They only played ranked, no scrims. That was their 5-stack rank. That was a scrim.
Yeah, well, as we head in further into this round, CYCLOPS have a lot less soft breach with that buck off the board. They still have the Jackal shotgun secondary and Ash charges, but you can see how much CYCLOPS have slowed down. They start to realize, okay, guys, Trippy, they're pretty good. We need to give them that respect, and we need to fight them with that respect in mind. It's a bottom floor attack now. Hibana has been banned by Trippy, so we don't see that secondary hard breacher. It'll be more difficult to open up any hatches that CYCLOPS wish to. They're likely to just use both on that main wall. Also going to have to deal with the denial on this main wall. That is the bandit batteries, so they get the first one gone. Going to call over to Shoke to open up that main wall. Templat playing very aggressively. He's already used his first smoke babe. It looks like that'll be an easy thermite charge for Shoke. Not sure if he'll use the second one on there. Doesn't look like he will.
I think he's going for the hatch, likely to get the bathroom control from above and pressure Jamsu Hwan off his very, very strong spot. So I think there's a way you can open up the wall as well as the hatch together. So that's likely what he's going to be going for because they now have a decision to make, as you said. Do we get the hatches? Do we get the wall as well? I think right now they're not going to be too unhappy with what they have right now, but you know, there is Maestro Evil Eyes to deal with. Anitun is pretty low. They need his soft breach potential. There's no more frag grenades because Black Ray is dead.
30 seconds left. This is looking far too late for CYCLOPS. 20 seconds now, time's ticking. Trippy under the pump, but they're getting aggressive here. They just need to deny the plant. That's what matters right here, and Jamsu Hwan is in such a good position. Shoke using his second thermite charge so very late. And Suzu gets that one player up above. Templat going for another one. He gets the down. Can CYCLOPS get this diffuser down? They're just going to play aggressive on it, and they're making it work. Get the plant down, Shoke. You have to. And he starts to make it work. But he's in the scenario. What be? Look behind you. He makes it happen. Trippy for 3 rounds.
What did I just see? What? Okay, so the decision number 1, it came in so late from Shoke to open the second wall. Templat, his SMG-11 shots have been ringing true all day long, all season long, and he made that count, what be obviously with the finisher. And then after that, he just came in, and he did not expect that plant spot for sure, because even CAG didn't know what was going on. They pushed the dock, finished him off, and then they're like, oh, we have the plant.
I mean, I'm impressed that CYCLOPS got it that close. When they're opening up the wall with 12 seconds left, in a, what, 4-on-4 or close enough?
5v4.
5v4, close enough. Man, the fact that they managed to find as many picks as they did, that was risky. Now, CYCLOPS are a team who are good at playing that aggression. I think it was smart. Instead of going for that default plant spot and trying to cover, they decided to force the issue because they had the numbers disadvantage. They needed to find more picks. They needed to brute force it. They know that they're good at that, and they almost made it work. But the problem was Trippy just had so many players still up. There was for every frag that CYCLOPS got and every refrag that Trippy got, Trippy still had players remaining. And in the end, that was what allowed the Maestro to take that fight and deny the diffuser plant. Really good start from Trippy here. And now they're going to head back up top again.
Now, something about console and Korean second seeds over here, because let me remind you, 1 season back, Ageless, now Star Z, they play They played #1 Japan back then, Norarengo, all right? And it was Consulate. You know what was the score at one point? It was 6-1 in favor of Aegis.
Yeah, mind you, we did see Norengo come back for that one.
Yeah, but
and
they should have closed it out. I mean, they had the chance. But that's the thing, like these guys and Consulate and just something about it.
And who knows, we may well see a repeat here with if Trippy do get an advantage. CYCLOPS could bounce back. We've talked about how we've seen them do that before against Wildcard for a spot at Raleigh. They made that one work. This is the best team out of Japan right now. And we've already seen one team from Japan, that's Norengo, win their quarterfinal. That was against Cloud9 just earlier today. Could it be a second? These guys are all trying to progress through the bracket. Those top 2 spots in this APAC Finals do earn tickets to Tokoname to play in the Pro League Finals.
So he heard that, and oh, the C4 goes out. Blackray, he was really, really afraid of the C4. Dodged it at the last second. JD nearly got 2 more once again. Now he's going to scurry on out of there. 1 minute wasted, some utility gone from CAG, and JD is still inside of copy room.
CYCLOPS begin to repel inside. Oh, a good shot from Annington as well to find that opening pick. Good job pinching here these players inside of admin. Now, good ground taken for CYCLOPS. Trippy decided as soon as CYCLOPS played that aggressive admin side, Trippy began to hold aggressively, and Jamsuk1 doing so much work here. Great job with the shotgun, the shut down Gatorade, and now the numbers are even. Steven Watby, though, trying to take this fight with the holo on the older. He may well make it work. Templat wants to help out, but Jamsuk1 doing all the work that's needed for Trippy. And they're getting so aggressive, but Templar makes it work anyway. Every time CYCLOPS wants to fight back, there's Trippy there, lying in wait. Annington, he's found 1 kill so far. It'll have to be 5 for the round if CYCLOPS is to come back here.
Well, he can't even get this one on top of Visa Stairs until he takes a lot of damage. He's down to about 10 HP. He has a minute to play with. That's a lot of time, but, you know, time really doesn't mean too much unless you start getting picked. So he's likely wanting to try and target Jamsuk1 and Watby first. They are fairly low, but, you know, Templar, he's on the smoke, and he still has some smoke base, and that's it. That's it. I open my mouth, and he just delivers.
So, this is the best team out of Japan, the most competitive region of APAC, arguably, against the 2nd seed from South Korea, the least competitive region in APAC. And right now, Trippy is up 4-1. Mind you, it is defense, and we may well see a strong defensive comeback from CYCLOPS, but I don't think we ever expected Trippy to even get this close. Before this game started, I said, I'll be surprised if Trippy managed to get a 7-5 loss on either one of these maps. If they take 5 rounds in one map, I'll be impressed for Trippy. Now, right now, they're smashing those expectations.
Indeed, that Jamsuk1 3K over a long desk, obviously helped out by JD as well as Templar. It worked out so beautifully well. That's not something you would expect as an attacker, as CAG. They really have never faced a team like this before. If you actually look at all of their opponents, like even the international stuff, all right? Let's go through this. Fnatic, all right? Then they got Aerowolf, they got Wildcard, then they went to G2 and Rogue. None of those teams plays like Trippy does.
Trippy are currently beating CYCLOPS at their own game.
Yeah.
CYCLOPS are the team of APAC that play the most aggressive, and they make it work, and they take fight after fight after fight. And if one of their teammates is in a gunfight, another teammate will come to assist and make that a 2 versus 1. That's exactly what Trippy was doing there. Every single time CYCLOPS started to put the pressure on the Trippy players holding admin, more and more Trippy players would invest into that side. And CYCLOPS is being beaten by that same strategy that they love to employ every single game.
Yeah, now moving on to this round. Once again, it's a defense of the split bomb site. And mind you, this is the final round of Trippy's defense. Now, it's a very different hold from what they used the first time around. They're going to put a mirror window downstairs and one inside of break room. That's not something you see very often. Blackray, he's entering inside of garage alone. Very, very dangerous prospect. We were talking about how CAG likes to stack up members and how Trippy is doing it right now. Blackray on his own right now. I know he's a fantastic fragger, like what, 2nd best in Japan this season, but goodness, you need to have someone to help you refrag. Refrags win you matches. That's what
Trippy is demonstrating so far. His rounds have absolutely been going the way. Every time Trippy commits to something slightly, they've got full commit, all their players. make it happen, force the issue. CYCLOPS can't take these 1v1s because they're not 1v1s for long. They're 1vx's. They're multiple opponents that they have to fight against.
Templar's taking a bit of damage. Now the rest of CAG is coming to join BlackRay, Anitun, Gatarada, and Showcase. So that leaves Suzuki a bit MIA right now. I think he's somewhere upstairs trying to get some footsteps, maybe trying to get some additional utility, maybe bait out a push upstairs, or, you know, just take control upstairs so that it makes the plant denial harder from upstairs. A lot of reasons why he could be
Grenade incoming. Template takes quite a lot of damage for that, but he's still standing, and that's what really matters. Another grenade gonna come in. There are so many grenades being used by CYCLOPS, and oh, it just misses. So unfortunate, hitting the door frame. Template now still alive. Surely the sledge is out of grenades now. I've seen 3 fly past, but Shale takes the first kill onto Suzu. And that's the Jackal gone down as well. No, man, you can't make those mistakes. Not here, not on LAN, not against a team that's making you look like amateurs. Trippy doing so well right now, and CYCLOPS, what can we say for them? They're better than this.
Mind you, Trippy are the ones who are really amateurs by every definition of the word right now, except for the game style, because it is a 3v3 because Showcase and BlackRay have created it out. Oh, BlackRay with one more, and now Watby needs to come back down. And oh, there's a shotgun to the face, one more down, and there's one deep inside of sight. Templar needs to deal with him, and oh, another one. This is gonna work out, is it? This is gonna be a 1v1. He sees you right there. He can't land the shot, and it's gonna be BlackRay clutching it out. It was Trippy with the clutch initially, and now BlackRay gets it.
Shika, we almost saw a round saved by Pulse shotgun. Castle shotgun. Well, it's the same shotty, but
yeah, but like,
the M1014 is not a very great shotgun, but we almost saw a round saved by it. CYCLOPS counting their lucky stars that they managed to pull that one off. Came down to the wire, 1 versus 1, but finally CYCLOPS back on the horse. Now, where can you go from here? If you just tell me, okay, first half, CAG are down 2-4, but then they get to go on defense. I actually think, okay, that's not sounding too bad. 2-4, not too bad for your attacking half. If there is a slight favor to the defense in the overall match, then you'd expect maybe you can make a comeback from here. So CYCLOPS definitely don't want to write this off yet. They're certainly a team that can make these differences. They've banned out that Nomad, so now they're on the defense. I expect a lot of flanking and roaming potential. CYCLOPS are a team that we know love to make aggressive plays. They have 3 3-speed operators and the Mute as well, who's great for flanking. Gatarada looks to be holding bathroom, or at least this antechamber area. Got the Ella shotgun, a classic strategy used to hold this control and put pressure onto Piano. That said, Trippy have brought a trick of their own with that Montaigne pick, something that we thought we might see in our first match of the day, Aerowolf versus Fnatic, only the Fnatic banned it every single map. Didn't matter for Aerowolf in the end, but Trippy, I'd certainly love to see what Jam1
here we go.
can show for us.
And he's been playing very aggressively here on the gas station spawn. He's not going to find anyone, I think. No one spawned there. He's going to go actually further out, get detected. That's not going to worry Trippy too much. But yes, talking with the Montaigne there, one of 3 ways this will go. Either he will push in through the garage door and try hold off the planter, the plant denial. And for that, they will need very strong control of yellow stairs. Or he's going to help out in the roam clear upstairs. Or he's going to do this. He's going to go into yellow.
Oh, wow,
and be a very big roadblock.
Oh, that's such a risk. Aiming down sights is such a risk, especially since...
And the left wall open first.
Yep, especially since that aim down sights time has been significantly reduced. Now, the bandit trick from Anderson bypassed there from that pressure from yellow stairs. Good job so far for Trippy. However, this right-hand wall is really the priority for Trippy. It needs to be the priority, as you can cut off a lot more positions if you open up that right-hand wall. Of course, Hibana being banned means that Trippy will have to choose between opening more garage or opening hatches. That said, I believe that main hatch in the bathroom was unreinforced as the Ella was hard holding inside of there. Now it's up to the Monty. Holding this could make the difference. No kill found with the C4 for Showcase. And Trippy still looking pretty good.
I think JD took 1 hit off the Ella shotgun upstairs. Jump to Juan, taking a bit of damage from the C4. So did Templar, but I'm stunned. No one is dead. Now, Anitu's going to be fighting this long angle, and he can, but it's not something I would definitely recommend. CAG looking decent so far, honestly. That Monty, again, he goes for the ADS. He's not been doing too much just yet because he's caught in the crossfire from White Wan and Pipes. They need to disable at least one of those players, and they're going to do that. Yes, he wins it out. What on earth is going on? Jumps to Juan. That's not how you're supposed to play Monty, but it's working out well, and who am I to say otherwise?
Anitson feeling the pressure right now. He spots out the player run in, and there's no cover from the smoke because it dissipates at an unfortunate time for Watby. Jamsu Kwan getting aggressive, and Anitson eliminated. Good opening for Trippy here now to capitalize. Cyclops have 3 players up as Showcase on the floor. Trippy still have those 3 players as well. Gutterada going back downstairs. Suzu is above. They still haven't eliminated this player at Pipes, which means that there's a lot of information being relayed to the rest of Cyclops. Jamsu Kwan finally finishes off that player as he bleeds out. Black Ray does find that 1 kill, and Templat with the refrag. He has to force a diffuser down, but the Monty is the only player who can cover. Gutterada wants to push in from the rear. All out of ammo with the main weapon, so he has to use this pistol. 2 players left from Cyclops, and they get the injure. There you go. All up to Templat, 1 HP and a dream, with the diffuser still yet to be planted.
The best player for Trippy against 2 of the best players in Japan right now is really not going to work out. He's planting with 10 seconds left to go. Suzuki just needs to turn around the corner, and Gutterada is chasing. He's going to get off, and he's going to deny the plant denial, but that's it. Can he get this? No. Very smartly played from from Gutterada, just holding on.
Pros don't fake, mate. You got to stick those diffusers. You've got to get the plant down. He was so close to securing it as well, and he was actually not exposed to that position below the yellow stairs. Clearly, CAG didn't actually know where he was planting as well, which meant that if he got that diffuser down, he might have been able to win both of those fights, especially since the Ella didn't have any ammo in her primary. Things look really good for a long time there for Trippy. To me, the biggest mistake was that Thermite running in for the plant without clearing that position on the white car.
Yeah, they probably thought that the concussion scared him away, or the smoke scared him away, or something, you know, whatever the case, it didn't work out. And you said they didn't know where the plant was coming from, and I think you're right. It could have been just like a Ysera situation on border just now, where he just leaps over the planter and is like, hey, where is he? And they get the clutch. But what is done now. CAG going to be bringing their own version of a defense onto console office here on the 2nd floor. The Maestro is a must pick for both these teams, it seems. And look at the fragging over here. Very close by on Trippy, actually, and almost a mirror image of that on CAG, of course. Gutterada lagging behind a bit, but of course they are 1 round down. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad a position to be in for Cyclops, to be honest. Good start to their defensive half with that 1 downstairs. That said, it was a bit close for comfort. However, now Cyclops should be aware that Trippy do favor this Montaigne. The VODs that I watched of Trippy, and I didn't watch all of their matches from the Korean Pro League, but I did watch a few, and I didn't see that Monty being picked very much. So if Cyclops have been watching VODs of Trippy, this isn't necessarily something they would expect.
Yeah, indeed. I was surprised by it too just now from Jamsu Kwan. Of course, it couldn't quite work out, but you know, the way he was playing it with the ADS is really not how you expect to play a Monty. And I'm going to bring up Luna Metal again, because he's like the Monty player in APAC. He plays it very, very safe. He will un-ADS hip fire someone and try to push them back and back and back, because he is going to land some shots. So that's how you usually want Monty to be played. And over here, Jamsu Kwan, he's just ignoring it, and he's like, well, here we go, ADS for the bandits, ADS for the kills, ADS for everything, and Cyclops couldn't quite deal with it until they flanked him.
It's a risky play, but of course, the more time Cyclops gets, the more we expect they will start to read into Trippy. I just want to point out, these guys are so loud. Trippy is honestly the loudest team I've heard this event so far. Their communication is so loud, so active, and that's such a good marker for this team.
Yeah, loud is good, but of course they need to make sure they're not talking over themselves. We can't quite tell if they are. It took a very long time.
I'm no Danny Kim, I don't speak Korean, all right?
And even he, I don't think, speaks it too well.
Okay, we got that on tape now, Danny. Gutterada could get a freebie here. C4 might get him this kill. See you later, Shale. Trippy's first player does get taken out. Now a good roam being exercised from the CAG players. Gutterada going to trade places with Black Ray, interestingly. 3 players, look at this, roaming downstairs.
This is what CAG does? I was talking to Luna Metal.
What? Hello and good night, Jamsu Kwan. Monty gone down, and now CAG are back into their former glory. They make this an almost flawless round, all up to JD. Surely we'll see some runouts on the windows. Cyclops finish him.
This is really Mortal Kombat right now. JD, he's gonna try and fight it. He can't win it out. Another flawless round for CYCLOPS, and this time it's to tie things up. Now, I didn't think I would be saying this, that CAG would be coming back, but this is the CAG that we all expected to see. I was talking to Luna Metal, you know, who's on the other side, and asked him, so CAG, what can you tell them? You played against them. What is your thing? And I said, you know, I noted that they do a deep roam, a solo deep roam, this time, and then he replied, he's like, you know what? If they want to send 4 players on the flank, they will. We just saw that 3.
They're so tight on each other. That's what's amazing about CYCLOPS, something I've seen from so few other teams. They have absolutely no issue being right next to each other, being so close, and going for these incredibly chemical pushes together, refrags, playing around each other. That information game constantly up.
So we are seeing something happening right now. It's taking a while. So let's see what happens over here. I think Trippy, don't know, we haven't seen enough of them. It's only been 2 rounds since the role swap. Of course, it was 4-2 in favor of Trippy over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a mixed bag for both of these teams. I think that CYCLOPS definitely looking back into the game. The thing I noticed in the first few rounds, it just didn't look like the CYCLOPS we knew.
And suddenly, especially the last round,
they flipped the switch, right? That most recent round, that defense where we saw that crazy roam from CYCLOPS, that's what we know them for. Up until now, we haven't seen that CYCLOPS have been a shadow of their former selves. Right now, it looks like it was just a little bit of jitters, being a bit scared, a bit like, okay, what? Yeah, it's like, so they had a great first round, took control of admin, super good time management. Trippy comes back straight away, and CYCLOPS is surprised. Like, okay, I didn't expect this level of competition. I didn't expect them to make those adaptations that quickly, start putting pressure onto admin, start countering our strategies. And that's what I think through CYCLOPS for that spout of few rounds allowed Trippy to get that early lead. But now CYCLOPS looks like they're back on their game. And I think that they're ready and steady to pull through.
Now we're seeing a Kapkan brought for this first floor lobby defense, and that's not something you see every single day. Gatorada, he's going to have a field day with that low recoil SMG of Kapkan, but more importantly, what are those traps going to do? Now, one thing I noted from Trippy in my preparation for them is that they sometimes, you know, have a very one-dimensional strategy. They become hyper-focused on making something happen, and they just throw bodies at it again and again and again.
That's a fair point. Like, you're talking about notes that you've had from looking at Trippy's games in the season, right? But we've already established Trippy, they're not actually playing that much like they did during the season. This Montaigne, which they've actually now finally stopped bringing, is not something we have seen much of during the season. We're actually a bit thrown by that. So it's interesting. We can do all the research we like on these teams that we don't know much about. But when it comes to LAN, it's like I've been saying all day, LAN is a different beast.
Yeah, indeed. You know, we talked about how the gap between the online season and the LAN, teams suddenly just step it up because usually they're hyper-focused on one opponent and they strat and strat and strat for 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. And, well, it's working out so far for Trippy. He's going to lose his drone, his jumps to Juan, trying to take down the default cam. He takes down the default cam, but I don't think that's a worthwhile trade. Now, I was saying, you know, poor time management, tunnel vision, but as you said, lots of changes coming out. Let's see whether that poor time management is also one of those changes that they have been able to work on.
The lobby defense now for CYCLOPS. Should be taking this top floor control, getting rid of the camera inside of Visa. For those who don't know, it's a beautiful little angle through the floor. Get rid of that Visa camera. I love that. Always do that one. And Trippy are taking this top floor control, as is typical for this bomb site. CYCLOPS do have a hold inside of the meeting room and also towards bathroom and console office. So Trippy will have to flush that out. Looks like they're trying to use this soft breach. No, it's actually the concussions Templat wishes to use to flush out this position on meeting, and those Kapkan traps being triggered deals a lot of damage to JD, one of the star players for Trippy. Black Ray wants to peek on that one. He knows one of those players hit a Kapkan trap. He knows they'll be lit, and the 416 carbine does so much damage, so he wants to take a capital advantage on that situation.
Suzu loves his silences. You saw him bring it on attack, and he's bringing it on defense as well. The silence SMG-11. We saw some great recall control of the SMG-11 from Templat, but it's going to be Anitun getting the first frag of this round. Warpy goes down a second one for Anitun.
No.
He just fires a third, but Anitun finally shut down by Templat, but doesn't matter. Black Ray firing through the smoke. He's going to pick up one, and on the flank, Templat is just going to go down. There's really not much he can do. It's going to be Cyclops taking the lead once again in this matchup. They haven't had the lead since the first round ended, and they're finally going to regain it. And as you said, this is looking like the CAG we all know and love, the CAG that we expected coming into this matchup.
And they're back into it as well, getting their game on. Really what made the difference that round, of course, was Anitson pushing up the spiral stairs. Trippy would not at all concerned for that angle.
Spiral, who does that? You play from bathroom.
Yeah, well, they had another play. They had the Jaeger in bathroom.
Correct.
I think Maestro is mainly holding the site, but the thing about CAG is that they're so reactive. They get that information. They know, okay, they're pushing from here, they're smoking this, they're doing this, and CAG are so reactive to rotate into positions to capitalize on those scenarios, and that's what I call it chemical. CAG, they have that chemistry. They are just, the fluidity of that team, the actioning upon these these call-outs, their information, their willingness to quickly rotate into a position, it throws off these teams that aren't quite so tight as Cyclops. Cyclops is not a strat-heavy team. Doesn't mean they just run around with no brain shooting people. It's all about individual knowledge, call-outs, communications, and a chemical reaction to every single call-out that's made.
Definitely, in a funny story, Chemical was one of the players in Japan, I think. I'm not too sure if he ever played the Cyclops men, but, you know, let's see what happens. Anitun gonna go for another spawn peek this time. Same spawn. Oh, he's gonna see someone, I think.
Oh, I think it was pre-fire.
Yeah, just sends out some pre-fires. That reactiveness, I think, also is why CAG took so long to just warm up to this. They were just, like, sussing things out. I don't think they were ever unduly worried about this. And they realized, well, Trippy, these guys are bringing the fight to us. So we just have to play what we usually do. We know that's what we're strong at.
Cyclops didn't know what to expect at first. Very first round, Cyclops was like, oh, let's just play our game. Take admin, super quick. Yeah, it worked out well. As soon as Trippy put up resistance, Cyclops, it took them aback. Once they realized that Trippy are playing just as aggressive as they are, Cyclops had to regain their footing, start to counter some of this. They know that they can't just walk all over Trippy. Oh, a great bandit trick there, and Trippy going to be struggling. Only one exothermic charge remaining, and that's all the hard breach they've got on offer.
This is poor from Whatby. He's the most experienced player from Trippy right now. And for him to make that kind of an error, not waiting for someone above, such as the Buck or the Jekyll or even the Yash, everyone else can help out with this.
Yeah, and JD looks to be the one to attempt to counter this bandit trick. Now, is watching from 2 floors above all the way in console. They kind of want this bandit to go for it so they can bait him out and get that kill, but no such thing will happen. It's now Anitson playing at the back of the white van as that thermite charge explodes that portion, that right-hand panel of the garage wall. Still, the rest of the garage wall is intact, and that allows Cyclops to have a bit more freedom inside a garage, especially around pipes.
Now this deep room, well, not quite deep, but as deep as it gets on console over here, Suzuki, he might be in a great position to receive Templat. Templat on the Ash is a very, very sound choice. You want someone who has so much experience playing Ash and just doing so well on fragging operators on this kind of Ash, because if you need him to rotate back onto the bomb site, call his number and he'll be there in a flash.
Great job there. He does indeed get Anitson pushing up just inside of the kitchen itself. Templat now potentially likely to drop into the waiting hands of Suzuki, and he does so. Trippy now, they need to clear out this position of Shoke. Templat's not so much of a threat right now, but now Trippy don't have a secondary angle to their push, and CAG have so much information thanks to this Maestro camera. The player falls inside, and now he doesn't know where to go, but the Legion can't find that kill. He gets taken out. Everything's suddenly turned on their head, and Jamsu Kwan pushing inside. Can Shoke find it? No, he's shut down. Trippy, what are you doing? Galarada gets 1 kill, but it's all on him. He gets the diffuser down, and suddenly this is winnable for CAG. No ammo left in the SMG-11. Needs to use the shotgun, but ain't gonna happen. Trippy, very nice recovery.
My head was in my hand for the final 15 seconds. I thought Galarada had it. There was an oversight from both the teams at different stages, and goodness.
I thought for sure the position of Shoki, the Legion, Yellow says, I thought that was going to mean all the difference, but no, ran out of ammo, wasted all of his bullets, and I was so impressed by Trippy. On the flip of a switch, they're happy to go from, okay, we're trying to force down a kind of passive plant to, no, actually, let's push it all the way in. We have to keep the pressure up on CAG and eliminate all their players. It worked out so well for them.
That was a surprise round because Cyclops, they made this comeback happen from 4 in a row. Now it's tied up, and 2 rounds left in regulation time. It's either going to be Cyclops or Trippy taking this, or we might see overtime?
Surely we don't see 3 maps in this game. All right, at the start of today, I promised...
Yeah, we'll see 2 maps. Trippy's going to take this.
Well, at the start of today, I promised Jordan that we're going to have 2 2-1 matches and 2 2-0 matches. Well, we've already had the 2 2-1 matches. So,
bold prediction calling wildcard Xavier 2-0.
I didn't at the time. At the time, I actually thought it was going to be C9 2-0 over Noarengo, and how wrong I was.
You keep on underestimating these Koreans, don't you? Well, to be fair, I did as well. So, Trippy right now giving Cyclops an absolute run for the money. Keep in mind, these guys went to Rally, right? They went and played against the best in the world. They played against G2 and Rogue. And the experience that they must have collected from that must have been immense. Surely would have taught them something, but right now they're struggling in the home, on really kind of home turf, inside of APAC against Trippy. Yes, you don't know much about them, but no excuses.
Trippy trying to change something else out.
No bandit trick this time.
Yeah, no bandit trick to counter that one, as the fire will counter that. And Trippy finally using both exothermic charges to open up the full length of the wall. Makes such a difference on your visibility and the positions that you can counter. Now, we've seen Trippy get really close on this bomb site, and of course they did win that previous round, even though just barely. I'll need to counter some more of this information gathering. I think that's going to be key for them. Throwing a Thatcher grenade and then shooting out that okay, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to throw an EMP and an Ash Charge for good measure. A bit of double up there, but I mean, as long as the Maestro Cam's destroyed, that's what matters. Now the Thatcher's actually eliminated from the round thanks to that beautiful Alder Black Ray. Very cheeky angles that he's enabling, but 2 minutes still on the clock, and Trippy are going to go for the plant. Watby in the safe corner underneath the yellow stairs. Surely there's no counter to this. Showcase ready, but Watby's just going to stick the plant. It goes down. He'll likely die to it, but it doesn't matter. JD getting too aggressive, but no, that's not how you want to hold the post plant. A 1 versus 4 hold in the post plant for Shale.
Now, Shale, he hasn't really been stepping up so far because there's no reason to, but this is a very tough position for him to defend. If someone gets in the corner, suppose vaulting through that bar, nope, that's it. He's going to miss the shots, and that's it. This is over for him. He's going to take down 1, but the run out from yellow stairs is what's going to end him. And it's going to be Cyclops moving up to match point. But the way that Trippy took this out, even in the 3v5 post plant, they could have held it just from outside, bring those ACOGs to bear.
I love the idea there for Trippy. I loved it so much. Let's go. It's 1 minute 50 remaining on the clock. Everyone tries to go for the plant when there's 30 seconds or whatever remaining. No, let's just go full send right now. They won't be ready. And absolutely they weren't. Cyclops were not ready for that plant. But then Trippy decided, like, JD, come on the Capitale. He did not need to peek aggressively on White Van. Completely useless, completely unnecessary. He lost his life. You need to keep all of your players alive in that post plant to win out those fights. And unfortunately for poor Shale, it was just him remaining. It didn't work out at all. So now we do have, as you mentioned, Cyclops on match points.
Yeah, and the thing I wanted to touch base on a bit on this was statistically for every single team, when they try to make an execute happen around this timing with 1 minute gone into the round, this is when the failure rate is the highest. So it's either you go for a rush at the very start and the percentage of success is much higher, or you do it at the end. But doing it in the middle like that is almost guaranteed to fail.
Interesting bit of stats there on the round timings there. Thanks, Shaka. So now it is, as we mentioned, match point for Cyclops. This is what we expected coming into this game, but I personally didn't think we'd see Trippy give this much of a fight. And of course, it's not over yet. They could tie this up. We could be heading to overtime, which it'll be first to 8 rounds. But Cyclops, honestly, I think that they may well have Trippy's number here. They have won both the lobby bomb site and the console office bomb site, that top floor, convincingly. And it is that top floor where they will be defending in this round. Trippy haven't yet to won an attack on this bomb site. We'll see what they've got for us here.
Really should have won that one on the basement, but it is what it is. And yeah, it was a flawless round here the last time out. So Suzu, he's going to be playing here on yellow stairs, a very common spot. He's brought the deployable shield, he's got barbed wire. Below him, there's an ADS next to him. So the way you fight this is you throw a Thatcher grenade down and then you follow it up immediately with a frag. And right now, Suzu, see, he's just going to dodge the flashbang and no follow-up frag grenade from JD just yet. And that is a bit of a missed opportunity right there. They could have got this kill onto Suzu, maybe even onto Black Ray because he was coming up very aggressively, trying to peek onto the skylight. Perhaps Trippy are a bit cowed by that aggression.
If you don't have the Capital, which is what we typically...
Oh!
Good night!
That is a good night, nice try. I mean, just Trippy, you just go home.
That's it, man. That was insane. 2 versus 5 now for Trippy. Things are not looking great, but they do get in the bomb site. Shale's got a lot of work to do. He finds one. These smoke babes, though, are seriously going to spell death for them. All up to Whatby now. He can find 1 kill, but no, that's it. And we have Cyclops Athlete Gaming taking map number 1.
What a crazy round that was at the end. Really started off with the yellow stair stuff, and I think Trippy really missed the ball by not capitalizing on the burnt ADS. They really should have, and you can see Shoke looking a fair bit relieved after that. That was a lot closer than we expected, didn't it, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, what a roller coaster of a game. I don't know what my expectations were going into that one, but it certainly was not what we saw in the first half of that game there on Consulate. I mean, look, Dev, I don't know. We talked a little bit about Trippy. We talked a lot about CAG, and I think with good reason, right? CAG comes into this as one of the favorites in the tournament, and Trippy does definitely come in as an underdog, but did we underrate Trippy?
It's funny. We looked at Trippy and we said, okay, what do we know about them? And tried to use that information to extrapolate what we think they're going to do. And funnily enough, Trippy showed us things that we didn't know about them. We looked at their VODs. They never played Montaigne. They come, they bring out these Montaigne strategies. Second round in, they look at what the enemies did. They took admin previously. Trippy completely changed their defensive setup to adapt to that, and it worked perfectly. Super impressed by what we've seen from Trippy, even though they didn't close out the map.
So is it more of an on-the-fly adaptation, or is this something that they prepared?
Bit of both. So the Monty was definitely prepared, but the changing to go for an admin hold and that admin pressure, absolutely on the fly.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them. I mean, the 7-5 on your opponent's map choice is definitely not a mean shout at all. That's definitely a good attempt from Trippy, but you kind of have to feel that if an underdog is going to be able to cause an upset in a series like this, that is a map that you have to convert.
Well, we don't quite know just yet. Now, I don't think it's too much doom and gloom right now, because usually when you see these teams with little experience come to APAC Finals or like LAN in general, these are the small things that really add up. So they don't have that experience to put the polish on everything else. The garnish isn't there on the whole dish. It's pretty nice. I just, to put this into perspective, I just double-checked my stats from the Cyclops versus Rainbow Pro League game this season. On Consulate, Cyclops won 7-3. So that means that Trippy has just, Trippy has just performed better against Cyclops on the same map than Rainbow did.
Yeah, how much can we read into that, though? You know, this is just one map on land. Yes, I'll give you that. Yes, this is the first time Trippy's been here, so there's not that much to sort of go back to and take a look back into the past history, but how much do you sort of take from just that one map?
By no means am I saying that Trippy is a better team than Rainbow, but I just want to let that emphasize how significant it is that Trippy took that map so close. Looking at the map stats before this ban phase, I thought, okay, look, this isn't a great map. I reckon first one's going to be a landslide for Cyclops. We talked about it, Jordan, right? You said if the first one's a landslide for Cyclops, maybe that means that Trippy will never be able to get their heads in the game. It's map 2 and map 3 that I thought Trippy would have a chance, and they've even demonstrated here on map number 1 that they're no chumps.
Well, I'll tell you what, map 2 and map 3 are certainly going to be barn burners. We're going to head to a short break, but one more map coming up, at least in this series, hopefully 2. We'll see if Trippy can get us all the way to map 3 after this.